What's up? It's been a few days, been getting rest, me and my mind, and new jobs and old jobs, and the unstable life of your nosy neighbor lady, and it's your nosy neighbor lady show. But I did see something that made me wanting to see you all, and I hope my neighbors are staying beautiful and wonderful to you and figuring it out while we all trying to figure it out. But the Breakfast Club, they interviewed a man named Larry Elder. I had never heard of him before, but he's definitely laced with facts and information about black people, the black home, and the fatherless epidemic or pandemic or whatever we're calling these things in the black community, because we are seeing that this gender war or this relationship advice or all this stuff that black people are talking about online, that black women are crying out and talking more about fatherless homes. And as we saw on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, they have a new girl. They refer to her as Tess. I'm not sure what her whole name is. I'm not an avid Breakfast Club watcher. Not really my forte. But I will note that Larry Elder going on there was good promotion because black people watch the Breakfast Club, but it also made me feel like they might need to stick to rappers and R&B artists because this man slaughtered them, basically showed how uneducated they are, how emotionally charged they are, how I was embarrassed as a black woman because there was a black woman there, Miss Tess, and it was clear that she was not understanding anything. Her and Charlamagne both said throughout the interview, "Oh, we're not picking a side. We're not on any side. I'm an independent." But it did not seem that way. But anyway, let's get into these note cards. Larry Elder talked about fatherless homes, smash and grabs, and how he do not believe in the system of racism. And to see a black man saying that, I can see how that can be confrontational to other black people, because often black men use the system as to why they're not in the homes, which he spoke about that, saying that Lyndon B. Johnson enacted the program where men weren't in a home because of welfare, and we joke about that all the time. Nikes took black men out the home. Philly Blunts took black men out the home. Mr. Elder sound like he kind of agreed with that in a way. But he talked about the smash and grabs and how those are black people. He talked about he don't believe in systematic racism because there are so many black CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. And I didn't even know that a black woman is president of Harvard. So whoop, whoop, whoop for the Black Woman Club. You could be what you want to be. We still believe in you. But it's just like, he don't believe in it because it's like, what did he say? 3 of the largest cities in the United States were they had black mayors. So how is there a system to keep black people down or the black man down if so many black people are making so much progress in this age and day? And since we had a black president who was reelected and did 2 terms, how is it all this systematic racism? But of course, Charlamagne and the black lady, I swear the only word she knew was system. Because like throughout the whole interview, she kept coming back to systems. And if you're a black woman on my show, we're more, we love black women. We talk about black women. We like the bad, the good, the ugly, the fugly, the best, the lows, our highs. We're here for it. But with that lady not being educated and overly emotional, she overtalked him, which embarrassed me. Over and over again, which embarrassed me. Kept saying like, no, and all. It's like, if black women wanted to get away from the stereotype that we have bad attitudes, this lady definitely did not help. I don't know her education level. I don't know her background. And I assuming she's the replacement for Angela Yee, but I don't know that either because I don't frequent the Breakfast Club. But he named some stats because he running for presidents that were very good stats, and he could name these stats like this. Like, this man is very educated, very smart, and in a time where everybody's like, who am I gonna vote for? Am I a Democrat? Am I a Republican? Am I a Democrat? Do I believe? He talked about crime And to me, that's a big issue when voting in this new election is going to be key to me if I vote. But he said 70% of black homes are fatherless and they're unmarried. They said men with fathers are 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 5 times more likely to commit crime and be poor, 20 times more likely to go to jail. Then they went into a conversation about jail and the systems, because the black lady, all she knows is the word system. We should have got her dictionary. I would have sent her one if I knew she was going to be on here. I didn't know, or the source or something. But she was just like, why they in jail in the war on drugs and the drugs and the drugs? And the man was talking about meth. The man was talking about crack versus powder. Oh, but you not staying on topic. I said this. It was just, oh God, I was so embarrassed for us. Charlemagne, of course, wanted to know, what did white people do wrong? Every time Larry Elder tried to talk about what's going on with the black community or Blackistan or Trapganistan, all they wanted to talk about was white people. For some reason, black people think white people live in the hood. Yes, there are a few Beckishas in the hood, but predominantly white people don't live in black neighborhoods. But we know black people don't know that. So this was a perfect show for shit black people don't know. DJ Envy did go on to talk about why black people can't get loans for their houses and yada yada yada, because DJ Envy is smart. He's smart to know that he's too dumb for this conversation. He tried to do a little back and forth, and when he knew that he didn't know a lot, he stood down. Whereas this black woman kept talking, and of course Charlemagne had to talk. It's his show. So he can be dumb, but it's a saying that say, nobody know you a fool till you open your mouth. And sometimes it's better to close your mouth. But DJ Envy did bring up the point about black people don't never get loans. Black people don't never get loans. Larry Elder, I never knew him prior to this, but he's definitely a scholar. He was like, well, there was a 1995 lawsuit. What was the Citicorp lawsuit? Where they said they sued them because black people said they're not getting us loans because they being racist. And the corporation said, we're not giving you all loans because you have poor credit and bad paying back histories. And then that was founded in the court because the people who they did give the loans to prove that they weren't racist, turned out those people filed bankruptcy, turned out those people did not pay the loans back, they lost the homes, and even one of the people, I think he said maybe they shouldn't have given us loans if they knew we couldn't pay them back. So, and then he went to talk about Asian people actually make more money annually than white people. So why are they giving Asian people loans? Or why are they discriminating? Why aren't they discriminating against Asian people? And what else did they talk about? Systematic racism don't exist because, So, Charlemagne brought up mass shootings by white men. And being an avid Twitterer and following a lot of smart girls on Twitter, they always show black men committing mass shootings. It just never makes the news. And nobody ever wants to talk about it. Because, as the girls say, they are a protected class, and the things they do is definitely swept under the rug and covered up, and you can't talk about it. I'm a black woman, and I can't talk about it. But, of course, he kept making, so what did white people do wrong? What did white people do? And he studied like, I'm talking about a crisis, a fatherless home, and breakdown of the nuclear family. And over here, we know Blackistan don't have families. We know that children don't make families or make a man stay. We know that black men are unreliable, undependable, and ain't buying no damn kids, no damn school shoes or clothes. You'll be waiting. Your kid will be naked at the bus stop. So, but it was just so crazy how they kept the lady kept overtalking him. Charlemagne really didn't overtalk him, but it's like, what did they say? I think Charlemagne said something like, well, how did these white men, what is it, Giuliani, that former mayor of New York, why did Giuliani, why did he go to jail and he had a father in the home? It's like, motherfuckers didn't say it's a science if a father in the home, that people gonna be perfect and not commit crimes, but it just shows the lack of intelligence, really. And I just think they should have studied more or prepped more or shut the fuck up on this one. We curse on this show. This show is 18 and older. Larry Elders don't support reparations. And he said, well, if I support reparations here, let's talk about the Africans in Africa who sold black people to white people. And then the black woman, because she's the genius that never made it, she said, well, would you be for reparations if people go after other countries if we go after Africa and Arab countries, then will you be for reparations? And he was like, no. And it's like, I really just wish these people did some homework or some type of something. Oh God, I was just so embarrassed for her. I was embarrassed for myself. Because even Charlamagne did a little sneak diss to her. He said, oh, Larry Elder, are you going to stop talking to black women now? Or do you see how black women are? Or it's just so funny that nobody stopped her to protect her from embarrassing herself. You know what I mean? Because when Charlamagne did say, okay, let him talk, she would stop this rambling or this snapping neck culture that black women do sometimes. And it's just like nobody protected her from embarrassing herself. I just think she's really going to look back on this with a lot of regret. But black women embarrass me. And I'll be ashamed all the time of black women. So, to be a black woman, it's just an embarrassing life these days. But a lot of the comments said blacks are so emotional. And we saw it. One was like, I'm sorry that three people represented y'all like this. So I'm glad somebody gave us a little grace. Well, black women, I don't care about the black men, and I don't even know if DJ Envy is black, so I don't know. But it was just crazy, like, won't let them talk. She was independent, he was independent, and she just kept talking about systems, and what else was it? Charlamagne kind of said something to him that I thought was a bit disrespectful to me. Like I said, we talk shit about black men, but I'm not ever against anybody or just disrespecting people. And he was like, do you believe in a nigga wake up call? And he was just like, a nigga wake up call is when Joe Biden told y'all you not black if you don't vote for me. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you got a nigga wake up call? And then Charlamagne really couldn't say nothing because it's like, he was like, well, a nigger wake-up call is when people realize that white people really aren't on their side and then something really terrible happens to them. It's like, so y'all wishing bad things on this man because he running for president and want to talk about the epidemic of fatherless homes? Then Charlamagne did go to say, well, I'm a good father and I'm married to my wife. If we're under assumption that we're not going to talk about Charlamagne's sexuality in this video because we would be being, that's classless. We'll save that for another day, and that's distasteful for this conversation. We'll do that another day, girl. But it's just like, why would you talk to this man like this as a guest? Like, are you threatening him? Oh, and then the black lady, what was she saying? I believe in black faces in high places. I believe in black faces in high places. And he was like, so you're insulting me saying that I'm not really a real black person. And he was like, 20% of people, I think they even said 20% of black males voted for Donald Trump. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me, but I know it was 20%. And he was like, so are we saying those 20% aren't black or real black people? Because so only the 80% who voted Democrat are the real blacks? And that's the shit for me. Like, you're not being black right. And I get that a lot. Like, oh, you're not a real black person. Oh, you one of them types. Or you a white girl in a black girl body. And it's like black people shun and shame education so much, and we wonder why. Larry Elder brought up the statistics and the numbers for children who can't read or do math. I think they say Chicago, 0% of the inner city schools are doing math on their level. 0. Then he was like 80% can't read and stuff. I think we had kind of talked about that over here or something in one of our videos. But that is mind-boggling and mind-blowing. And DJ Envy did bring up, we don't have good schools in our community. We don't have good schools in our community because black men don't work. Taxpayers fund schools in the community. For one thing, black people don't value education. So we can act like they not giving the teachers a hard time and that the kids are respectful. We see videos all the time, people attacking teachers, people cussing out teachers, kids breaking out in fights who are black kids, kids bullying other black kids. I see it on Twitter all the time. A girl had maced a teacher. A black girl had maced a white teacher for taking her phone. The girl who was fighting the black teacher and broke her leg, then the other girl who was fighting the black teacher, and her like thong or something was showing. All these different tragedies that happen in Blackistan. But if taxpayers are paying for schools, but it's men on the playground drinking beer and smoking weed, which we know happens too because they're predators, and they have the mind of children. But if black men not working, that's only black women tax dollars and whatever job they working going into the school system. We have a whole epidemic of black men who don't work, who owe the government $50 billion. So that money is not even going into our school system. And then that would be to act like we cared about education. So we know we don't. If it's not ghetto, ratchet, hood, violent, we not there for it. So they did touch on mass incarceration. And then he had to explain to the black lady that people are in jail for committing crimes. And the only thing she kept saying, well, I explained to you that, and a lot of stuff she said she explained to that. Don't tell her. But she didn't explain nothing. She just kept saying systematic to me. But it's just like... I just really felt bad for that girl. I didn't really feel bad for her. I was really just shocked at the amount of times that she did not realize that she really didn't know what she was talking about and should have stood down. And if you really are independent, you're going to give both parties room to express themselves. But she was so on the defense for black men and they fucked up ass behavior and not even listening to factual information or not processing information or not even being prepared for this segment. To me, I don't know if they was drunk when they read the notes, or did they not study at all, or did they not know that man knew what he was talking about. I don't know. But when you're talking to somebody who's running for the president of the United States, you should know that they're educated. Yeah, George W. Bush wasn't a Spartans, but his daddy was a president, so he came in off a clout. But it's just like, I really wish these people had prepared more for this interview, so they just didn't look like donkeys of the day. We know they do that, or just jackasses. I prefer jackass. But it's just like, we gonna need them to study when they talking to people who are educated. They don't have to study when they talking to Knuck If You Buck and Crump Like This and whatever the new music is out now. This rap and hip hop, that's fun time. When they having a political figure on their show or somebody who's educated, I'm gonna need them to read some books or some notes or some clips or something about something to know something about something. The internet is too big and that show is too big. But if black people following them, I'm not surprised, because black people like shit that's not educated and don't make no damn sense. So I would see you. I wouldn't want to be you. I hope y'all like this video. I'm your nosy neighbor lady. It's your nosy neighbor lady show, and I just hope y'all have a beautiful weekend. I hope my black women are staying beautiful and positive or negative, whatever you want to do, girl. As long as you want to do it, it's in you to do, girl. Who could be? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on Instacart. So I guess they text people at 1:25 in the morning to let them to finish their Instacart order, I guess, to know. Girl, everybody out of order now. Instacart is out of order. But while y'all having a good time, I guess they say, you calling us, bitch, we calling you back. But while you staying beautiful and wonderful, you and innovative and creative, I will definitely see you later. And we thank CNG for our innovative, creative shout-outs on her roster white girl, harassed white girl videos. We just thank her for saying it over and over, because I kind of feel like a little bit like, she was like, bitch, I see you. And I was like, bitch, I love you. I see you too, bitch. So I kind of feel like that was like for me a little bit. So, I'll see you. Bye.